Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. And I want to say Shalom to you Akanakwa out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. This one's titled, A Leopard Cannot Change Its Spots, but a Change is Still Coming. Once again, a leopard cannot change its spots, but a change is still coming. And this is actually an idiom, alright, that I just learned today, because I was thinking about a different idiom. I can't remember which one I was thinking of. What was it? There was one I was thinking of, and I can't remember it, but I was looking it up, and then I said, it was something about change. It had to do with change. Oh, that's what it was. It was, how the tides have turned, all right? And I was like, I'm not really feeling that one, all right? Because I was gonna put the tides will turn. I just wasn't feeling the title, so I looked up idioms for change, all right? And this is the one that came up that I enjoyed. It's called "A leopard cannot change its spots," and it says the phrase "a leopard never changes its spots" means it is impossible for one to change their character even if they will try very hard. The expression sometimes also used as a leopard can't change its spots. It's used to explain the idea that no one can change their innate nature. Okay, and of course, a leopard not changing its spots, who do you think we're talking about here? Alright, of course, we're speaking on Esau Edom, the so-called YT man, right? Well, you got to be careful with our language because Esau's, Esau's getting a little bit more slick, okay? So, instead of saying the full YT, alright, word, and you put Y and T together and pronounce it, what does it say? You should be able to get it, okay? Sometimes we got to talk like that just because, the algorithm will mess us up, alright? They don't want, that's just how it'll work. So, you know who the YT man is, alright? Put it together. So, a leopard cannot change its spots. And the so-called YT man, Esau Edom, alright, Idumeans, alright, those of a paler skin complexion, right? And it's not always about skin color. It just happens to be that the vast majority of the Edomites happen to be YT, alright, so-called, okay, pale, red, leprous-looking people. Okay, but some of our people from our nation look like that as well. I would be one of them. Okay, I would be one of those people that would look like a so-called YT person. Or there's brothers out there that look like an Asian person or a Middle Eastern person, and so on and so forth. It's not about skin color. It just so happens to be that most of because Jake's natural innate color, all right, is brown. Okay, various shades of brown. It just so happens to be that Jake still, for the vast majority, is that same color. And just as Esau came out, red all over like a hairy garment, red, he came out red, and to this day, a vast majority of them are still red. But that's not always the case. But regardless, a leopard cannot change its spots. Esau Edom, okay, cannot change its spots. Okay, Esau is still the same Esau since his birth. He's always been the same. He's never changed. He's still been that same red devil, hate-filled, lying scumbag motherfucker that he's always been, okay? And a leopard cannot change his spots, but a change is still coming. Esau can't change who he is. He can't change that he's a fucking scumbag, okay? He can't change that he's a liar and a thief. He can't change that he's a murderous, cretinous heathen. He can't change that, okay? A leopard cannot change its spots, okay? But a change is still coming. At the hands of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. These people can't change who they are, okay? They're going to be beaten into submission, alright? These people are going to be beaten and thrown onto the bottom forcibly. They're going to be forcibly taken out of power by the hands of Yahweh Shai, alright? Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. When Yahweh Shai comes up, he's forcibly taking these people out of power. By force. That's what forcibly means, by force. What does it mean to do something by force? Do something by force. If someone uses force to do something, or if it is done by force, Strong and violent physical action is taken in order to achieve it. Strong and violent physical action is taken in order to achieve it. Okay? So you're going to take something by force, all right? You're going to kill, maim, murder, all right? And lay absolutely desolate, all right? Whatever gets in your way in order to achieve it, all right? You're going to do it by force. And Yahushua is going to take these people out of power by force. He's going to destroy their buildings. He's going to destroy their synagogues. He's going to destroy their secret places. He's going to destroy every little thing that Esau's laid up, everything that they've made, everything that they've done, everything they've built up for themselves. Netflix, Facebook, all these internet servers, right? Everything down in Hollywood, right? At Disneyland, everything. He's going to forcefully destroy it. He's going to do it by force and take these people out of force. He's going to destroy their thrones, destroy their kingdoms, destroy their land, destroy their well-being, and take them physically out of power by force. By force. Strong and violent physical action taken in order to achieve something. You're going to do it by force because a leopard cannot change his spots. He's proud, all right? He's wicked, he's evil, he's a devil. He's never going to change. So the Lord has to physically come and strip him from power, all right, and bring him down, and we're going to rule over them. That's part of our reward. Who is us? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. It doesn't matter if you don't believe it. Doesn't matter if it hurts your feelings. Doesn't matter if it makes you feel sad. Doesn't matter if you say, oh, that's anti-Shem. That's anti-Shem. It doesn't matter what you say. Okay? The Lord doesn't give a fuck what you have to say. We don't give a fuck what you have to say. It doesn't matter how you feel or if that makes me uncomfortable. I don't like the way that's racist. It doesn't matter how you feel. It's about how the Lord feels. And the Lord feels pissed at you, and he's coming back with force and with anger and with fury and with vengeance, and he's going to physically strip you out of your power, and he's going to put you at the bottom. And our people, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, the Israelites, which mind you, the Lord himself, all right, Yahushua, being a so-called Negro himself, all right, from the tribe of Judah, all right, a so-called black man, if you will, right? That's what you would call him. If you were here, you'd say he's black. He's not black, all right? He's a Judite, okay, an Israelite, all right? That happens. You say black, but he's not black. He's brown, all right? Well, no one's the fucking color of asphalt. Asphalt is black. There ain't no asphalt people walking around, okay? There's not, okay? Ham gets pretty close, but still. If when the light hits him, you can see it's still a very, 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 very dark brown. Sometimes almost a blue-black, which still isn't black, okay? So, no, he's not black. So-called, okay? But he's a brown man, okay? And he's going to physically strip you out of your power and throw you on the bottom, all right? And the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are going to rule. Why? Because the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the Israelites. Who's the Lord dealing with? Israelite. Who is the Lord? Yahushua. What is he? He's an Israelite. All right. So, hey, not looking so good for you. So he's gonna be ruling over you as well, man. You know, some of you are gonna end up as Yahushua's servants and slaves. Okay, because you got to realize he's sharing his inheritance with us. Okay, so because of he's sharing his inheritance, all right, we get a portion of the slaves and the riches, right? And we're gonna be in a very well way due to the the love and grace of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And it's a very, 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 very gracious thing for him to do that. All right, that's a beautiful thing for him to share his reward. Because he's the Lord. He doesn't have to, but he did because it's a beautiful thing. All right, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right, for that and for everything else that he's that the Lord, the Father and the Son has ever done for us. Right? We would be nothing without them. Right? So that being said, man, that means if we're sharing the inheritance and we're getting slaves, that means Yahushai gets first pick of some Edomite out there is going to be Yahushua's slave. You know how bad that's going to be? All right, that's going to be terrible. Okay, and the leopard can't change its spots. All right, but I'm sure you could beat one so bad that you can't recognize those spots anymore. Okay, so we're going to grab our first scripture, which is Genesis 27 and 41. Okay, it reads, "And Esau hated Jacob." Esau is the so-called white T-man. All right, Jacob is the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, there's lessons on that if you want to read up more about that. Jacob Jacob's name was later translated after he wrestled the angel. Gift he was given was his name was changed to Israel. Okay, And then you have the 12 tribes of Israel, which come from that bloodline, his bloodline. He's a man. So everyone that came down through his bloodline, all right, Jacob, Israel, right, would be an Israelite, all right, from the house of Jacob, all right, on down. If you go and look up the 12 tribe sign, we can go do it now. Go over here, go over here, go over here. You get the 12 tribe sign. You see Judah, the so-called Negroes, Benjamin. What does it say? It says the 12 tribes of Israel, okay? And never mind that the so-called Star of David. This was made a while back, but the apostles say, now if you have that to cover it up, all right, ignore it or disregard it. All right, this is what you need. The 12 tribes of Israel. Of where? Of Israel. Who? Israel. What? Israel. When? Israel. Who's the 12 tribes of Israel? Judah, the so-called Negroes. Benjamin, the so-called West Indians. Levi, the so-called Haitians. Benjamin, you islander brothers, right? So that's Southern Kingdom, right? Boom, Southern Kingdom. Israelites. Northern Kingdom, Israelites. Who do we got? Simeon, the so-called Dominicans. Zebulon, the so-called Guatemalans, the Panamanians. Okay, we got Ephraim, all right, the Puerto Ricans, so-called, right, the so-called Puerto Ricans, all right, and Manasseh, the so-called Cubans. Gad, the so-called North American Indians, right, aka the Native Americans. Reuben, the so-called Seminole Indians. Naphtali, the Argentinians to Chileans. Asher, the Colombians to Uruguayans. And Issachar, the so-called Mexicans, right? So there we go. All the way from Judah to Issachar and everyone in between and everyone else, everyone on here, not everyone else, but everyone on here, Israelites. Okay, everyone on here has a chance to be saved. So-called Mexican, you can be saved. You have a chance, all right? So-called Cuban, you have a chance. You can be saved. Seminole Indian, so-called chance. You can, not so-called chance, but so-called Seminole Indian, you have a chance. You can be saved. Haitians, you can be saved. Dominicans, you can be saved. So-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians, you can be saved. Okay? But anybody else that's not on this list, they can't be saved. Okay? An Edomite, a so-called YT boy, do you see them on there? Do you see Esau anywhere on here? Do you see the YT man anywhere on here? No, you don't, because they're not of Israel. They're not going to be saved. They're going to be destroyed. They're going to be decimated. They're going to be laid desolate. They're going to be terrorized and all the other terrible words that you want to use. Okay? Esau hated Jacob. Who's Jacob? We just showed you who Jacob is. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. You don't know what the blessing is? Go read it. Go read Genesis 27 on up. All right, and you'll see what was given to Jacob. All right, it was a blessing. Okay, so now Esau has no blessing. Well, they had the blessing, the sword that Isaac gave him. All right, but he didn't have his birthright and he didn't have the blessing. Okay, let's go up. What was the blessing? Let's go read it. It says let's see. Here it is. Verse 27. All right, Genesis 27 and 27. Okay, it says, we'll go from 26. And his father Isaac said unto him, come near now and kiss me, my son. All right, and also this term is where we get that when we say you yiquabbed him. Yiquab is the Hebrew, Paleo-Hebrew term for Jacob. All right, that's the real name for Jacob, Yiquab. All right. Just like Jonathan would be, Jonathan or John would be Yowanathan, right? And that's the correct Paleo Hebrew. All right, the Lashawan Quadash, the holy tongue, right? The true tongue, the true language that we originally spoke. All right, that's the true name is Jacob would be Yiquab. So when we say you Yiquabbed him, that comes from Genesis 27. All right, because he Yiquabbed, Yiquab him. All right, because he tricked Isaac, all right, and he put on Esau's garment and stuff, and Esau always gets mad about it. No, why did the Lord allow this? Why did the Lord allow? Because the Lord wanted that blessing to go really to Israel, all right, to Jacob, not Esau. Okay, but it was for Esau. No, it wasn't for Esau. It wasn't. If it was for Esau, Esau would have got it. Well, it says that Isaac was going to give it to him. He was, but it didn't happen. So that means what? Nothing happens if the Lord didn't want it to happen. The Lord did not want Esau to get that blessing. That blessing was really made for did I say Isaac? Salakia. That blessing was really made for Jacob, okay? Not Esau. Even though Isaac was going to give it to Esau, it wasn't meant. All right, Isaac thought it was meant for Esau, all right, but the Lord changed the ways. That's why another thing is says what is it? Oh man, there's a scripture that comes to mind. what is it? I can't remember. We're gonna. I don't want to stop up the lesson too long. But basically, you might think something, but that might not be necessarily the outcome the way it is. The Lord might have, different plans. All right, and He's gonna make it change no matter what you feel like. Okay, so Isaac might have wanted it to go to Esau, but the Lord said, it's not going to Esau. It's going to Israel. Okay, it's going to, Jacob at the time. Okay, so verse 26, and his father Isaac said unto him being Jacob, said to Jacob, come near now and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment and blessed him and said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord hath blessed. All right, because he put on Esau's garment, and Esau stunk and smelled like the outdoors and all that stuff, so he knew it was Esau when he came nearby. It says, therefore Yahweh give thee the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be every one that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac has made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also had made a savory meat, and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise, and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And this is Esau that's doing this. And Isaac his father said unto him, who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought me it? And I have eaten eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceedingly bitter cry, one of those snotty cries, right? Right? And said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. What is subtlety? Subtlety means cunning, craftiness, right? It says, and he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, hath thou not reserved a blessing? He's taken everything from me. Esau. When Esau didn't, and Esau is such Esau's a bitch, man. He took away my birthright. No, you sold your birthright. You sold your birthright. Okay? You sold it, okay? Because you were hungry. Well, that wasn't right. I was hungry. Well, you sold it. You shouldn't have sold it. Okay? You shouldn't have sold it. Okay? So, it says, he took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him, and what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Okay, if you look at the places, the fertile places, where is it? It's Esau is in it right now. Okay, and the dew of heaven from above. And by thy sword thou shalt live. You're going to live by the sword, by killing, murdering, maiming, right? And thou shalt serve thy brother, Jacob, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, when you can do it, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And that's speaking of the Renaissance, because in the Dark Ages, Jake was ruling over Esau with an iron fist. All right, but it came time during the revival that Esau was able to, he had the dominion, he broke off, and now he's in rule since then. The rebirth being the Renaissance. Okay, and verse 41 in the point that we were getting, we had to read it up though, so you can understand the whole severity of it. Genesis 27 and 41, and Esau hated Jacob. Why? Because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father at hand, then will I slay my brother Jacob. All right. So a leopard can't change his spots. That's how that began. The hatred began. This is how it all started. All right. And he's been that way since this. All right, and he will continue to be that way always and forever until he's inevitably extinguished and put out and snuffed out like a candle. Okay, so Ezekiel 35 and 5. Let's go and get it. Ezekiel 35:5 reads, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. Okay, let's stop. Perpetual, what does it mean? Perpetual.
Perpetual.
Never ending or changing, everlasting, never ending, eternal, permanent, unending, endless, without end, long lasting, constant, all right, perennial, timeless, ageless, undying, unfailing, never changing, changeless, unvarying, unfading, unvariable, immutable, indestructible, imperishable, severamental, perdurable, uninterrupted, continuous, all right, continuous, never ending, never changing, everlasting, eternal hatred, all right, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans by force of the sword. Why? Because your blessing is the sword. You shall live by the sword, right? As Isaac gave you that blessing, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity and the time that their iniquity had end. He changed? No, it says perpetual, never ending, never changing. Perpetual hatred, perpetual hatred, perpetual hatred. Let's get Amos 1:11. All right, same thing. Amos 1:11. Okay, thus saith the Lord, Amos 1:11. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, Esau, Idumea, the YT man, right? The crack-a-lack-a-lacker, Esau, Edom. There are 3 transgressions of Edom. Okay, you know who we're talking about here. Well, not we, but as the Bible, the scripture's talking about. Who's being mentioned here? Esau, Edom, the crack-a-lack-a-lacker. All right, the YT man, Idumeans, all right? That's who Esau is. That's who Edom is. For 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, who's talking? Thus saith the Lord, who's the Lord, I will not turn away the punishment thereof. The Lord will not turn away the punishment thereof. Why? Because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. Perpetually. Perpetually. Perpetually.
Perpetually.
In a way that never ends or changes. Constantly. Perpetually. Eternally. Never ending, never changing. Esau's always been this way, forever and shall always be. Right? He was that way since that day until this day. He's shooting us. He's killing us. He's raping our women. He's chopping our body parts up. He wants to do some shit like get out, get out, get out. That's what he wants to do, man. That's Esau Edom. All right? That's just who he is. All right? That's who he is. That's how he is. That's how he always will be. Perpetual, eternal. All right? That's how it is. He's going to be that way always and forever. Has a perpetual hatred. Kept his wrath forever. That's how he's going to be. He's going to continue being that way. A leopard cannot change his spots. But guess what? A change is still coming. All right? A leopard might not be able to change his spots, but you can beat him so hard you can't see those goddamn spots no more. You're going to beat the shit out of him. Okay? Esau is going to get the shit beat out of him. By the Lord first, then he's going to go in captivity, and then we're going to beat the shit out of him. We're going to continue to beat the shit out of him until he's finally just dust, vapor, done, all right? Going to be gathered, and they're going to be burnt in a pit, and they're never going to return as a nation, ever, ever, ever again. Esau is the only one that the Lord's not going to have any form of mercy upon. Moab, guess what? After 1,000 years, going to their own land, all right? Guess what? Ishmael, after 1,000 years of slavery, going to their own land. Moab, 1,000 years of slavery, going to their own land. Ammon, after 1,000 years of slavery, going to their own land. All right, Ham, after 1,000 years of slavery, go on their land. We're still going to be ruling over them, but guess what? Their debt have been paid off, essentially, all right? They're going to be in their land. They're still going to be getting sick. They're still going to be getting ill. We're still going to have to heal them, but guess what? Their captivity, their punishment, their sentence, it'll be up. Esau, after that 1,000 years is up, they're done. They're vanished, kaput, out of here, all right? Never to be seen again, never to return as a nation, gone, through. No more YT people, no more red man, all right? Completely gone, all right? Nothing, never to return, never again, gone completely, never gonna see him, never gonna smell him, okay? Not gonna see a remnant of them, all right? They're never gonna return as a nation, they're never gonna rebuild, they're never gonna be there, we're never gonna see him, we're never gonna talk to him, we're not gonna see any of their doings or nothing. They're gonna be gone, through. Every single thing that they ever did, wiped out, kaput. Slavery after they're done getting their ass beat, done, gone, through. Never again, never again. That's how bad it's going to be for you people. Why? Because you're completely evil. A leopard can't change its spots. You have to be destroyed because you just can't change, okay? You just can't change, okay? You can't. 2nd Esdras 6 and 7 through 6 and 9. Verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall the end of the first and the beginning, or when shall be, Slakia, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that falleth? Verse 8, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac. When Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Verse 9 again. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. When Esau's world ends, Jacob's world begin. All right, that's just how it is. Okay, when Esau's out, Jacob's in. Esau's out, Jacob's in. Esau's rule is out, Jacob's rule begins. All right, and righteousness starts taking place. All right, but Esau's, what's got to happen to Esau first? The end, his world's got to end. His kingdom's got to go. Facebook, Meta, all right, whatever they're calling, fucking X, Twitter, all these people, they got to be thrown down. They got to be put into captivity. Everything's got to be destroyed. Wall Street's got to be destroyed. The Empire State Building's got to be destroyed. Every major monument's got to be destroyed. Everything, it's got to be destroyed, completely wiped out, leveled, flat. All right, with nuclear bombs, it's going to happen. All right, and during World War III, it's going to level this place. Boom. Completely leveled. Nothing. Flat. Gonna look like fucking Mad Max, man. Even worse than Mad Max. You ever seen Mad Max? You ever seen the Mad Max desert? Alright? Mad Max. Okay? It's gotta be flat, man. It'd be flat, looking like Mad Max. I'm not saying there's gonna be people rolling around cars and shit like that. No, it's gotta look like Mad Max. Desert, flat, gone, everything. It's gonna be a wasteland. All right, look up a wasteland. What does a wasteland look like? If you look up a wasteland, look, this is from Fallout. You know the Mojave Wasteland? All right, there you go. That's a wasteland. What's this? This is a wasteland. All right, it's gotta look like this. It's gonna be completely laid flat. Look at this wasteland. There's still some buildings standing. All right, the Lord ain't gonna allow that to happen. It's gonna be laid completely flat, done, through, gone. All right, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that falleth. Done, completely through, wiped out. A leopard can't change his spots, but the leopard, you know, the Lord can make it where that leopard never returns, ever, 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 ever. Okay, done, through, gone, kaput. All right, all the different words you can use. All right, why? Because they've had a perpetual hatred. All right, they've had a perpetual hatred. They're never going to change. They've never changed back then. They've never changed a couple years after that. A couple years after that, they didn't change. 100 years after that, they didn't change. 200 more years, they still didn't change. 500 more years, they still haven't changed. 100 more years on top of that, and 200 more years on top of that, they still haven't changed. What makes you think they're going to change now? They haven't changed. They never changed. They never will change. All right? They're going to continue to hate our people, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They're going to continue to kill them. They're going to continue to do bad things to them, and the court system's built against them, and not get them jobs, and get them fired, and do all these terrible things. Why? Because that's who Esau is. Esau is the devil. The devil's going to do devilish shit. Who would have thought? Wow. Who would have thought the devil would do devilish shit? He's the devil. He's going to do devilish things, man. All right? But these people are going to be put out. All right? Jacob's beginning of that falleth. When Esau's world goes down, Jacob's world begins. And when Jacob's world begins, all right, guess what? Esau's going into captivity. All right, they ruled over us in the transatlantic slave trade, and now and still they own our birth certificates, and we're being forced to work to have in these fucked up jobs that have all these unfair ass rules. And Babylon the Great, right? Babylon the Great's the biggest and worst one of it all. You can't even sit down here. You got to stand on your feet for 8 fucking hours. You know, in Japan you can sit down, all right, and in China you can sit down. All right, and other places like Australia and England, you can sit down, not in Babylon, because it's unprofessional to sit down. No, you got to stand at the counter for 8 hours, 9 hours, all right, 7 hours, 6 hours. You got to stand. Can't sit. All right, even though a lot of the other jobs allow you to sit, and all other parts of the countries of the world, guess what? You can't do it here. Why? Because Esau and their control, they like it. They just want you to be miserable. They know that standing on your legs for a long time fucks your back up. It fucks your neck up. All right, causes disc problems, causes heel issues. All right, you get arthritis and shit. All right, and all these different things in your body. They want you to stand up. They want those things to happen, because when you get those things, arthritis, when you get those things, what do you got to do? You got to go to Esau. You got to go to Esau. You got to go to his doctor. What's he going to do? He's going to put a bolt in your foot. All right, he's going to take you to take this pill. He's going to take you to do all these things. Why? Because that's what Esau wants, because Esau is wicked, and he's going to be put out. And guess what? When he's put out, we're going to be ruling over him. All right, we're going to be he's going to be in captivity. We're going to be beating the shit out of him. Beating the shit out of him, man. All right, beating the shit out of him. Hardcore bondage, hardcore slavery, just beating the shit, just going crazy on him, man. Just beating the shit out of him. All right, you know those mod movies? Where's he at, Vinny? Bam! Bash them in the face. We're going to beat him hard, man. We're going to be beating the shit out of Esau. Esau's going to be screaming, crying, snot running down his face. You know, so fucking afraid because now the people that they've persecuted and done all this terrible shit to, all right, now they're going to be, those people that they did all those terrible things to, those people are going to be in rule and they're going to be on the bottom. That's fucking terrifying for Esau. That's fucking terrifying. That's a worse horror movie. That's worse than Friday the 13th. That's worse than Nightmare on Elm Street. That's worse than all these Hellraiser, all these movies. That's Esau's worst nightmares. Because all the terrible shit that they did to us, they don't want us in power because we're going to repay them. All right, through Yahweh Shem Yahushai. The Lord's going to allow us to repay these people. Beating the shit out of them. All, hard bondage, man. All right? Hard bondage. Make them pick up, 2,000 pieces of wood blocks off the floor. Then when they pick them up and have them in the basket, we're gonna kick that fucking basket, make them pick them all up again, and then slap them in the face as hard as we can. And we're gonna be strong as hell, all right? Fucking rattle their brains. They might be temporarily mentally retarded for about an hour. Okay, how hard we're gonna hit them? They're gonna be fucked up, man. They're gonna be fucked up. That's Esau's worst nightmare. Okay, they can't have us on top. Hell, all the stuff that they're doing, not letting us know our name and saying that they're the white tea people, saying that we're black and that we're this and we're that, and not letting us know where we're from and all this. Why do you think that is? Because they don't want us to know that we're Israelites. They don't want us to rise up. They don't want us to have any form of power or control over them. They don't want us to know these things. They don't want, because when we start waking up, that's when Yahushai's got to come back. They don't want us waking up because they don't want Yahushai coming back. All right, because that means their rule's over, and that means we're going to be beating the shit out of them. They don't want that. All right, and it don't matter what you say, Esau, no matter how you lie on us, or what you say to us or do to us, or try to get us fired, or try to say this or try to say that, or do this, it don't matter. Because whatever you do to us, the Lord's going to pay you back. There's no way you can get out of this. You can't lie your way out of this. You can't kill your way out of this. All right, you can't grape your way out of this. You can't bamboozle your way out of this. You can't pay your way out of this. Esau, you're going into captivity. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can say. The tears aren't going to cut it. All right, the fear's not going to cut it. You're going to get your ass beat by Yahweh Shem Yahushai on down. That's just how it's going to go. The Lord's going to beat the shit out of you. We're going to beat the shit out of you. That's just how it's going to be, man. It's going to be terrible for you. Terrible. Terrible. Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured. Who's devouring us? Everybody that did it is going to be devoured. The heathens as well. All right, but most notably Esau, Edom. And all thine and all thine adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity. A couple of them, how many? Every one of them shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil. And all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord, because they called thee an outcast, saying, This is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. Who is Zion? Where is Zion? Who is that referring to? The Israelites. Is it referring to the Edomite Christians? No. Is it referring to the Hamite Christians? No. Is it talking about the people that converted to Christianity? No. Who is it going to be for? The Israelites. The naturally born so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Not about their faith, not about any of that. Israel, because they're of the nation of Israel, because they're from Israel, and the Lord chose Israel. Okay, that's who Zion's referring to. No, you can't convert to Hebrew Israelism if you're some other nation. No, you can't. No, it's Israel. All right, not everybody can be saved. The Lord's not dealing with everyone. Who's He dealing with? Zion, Israel. Okay. All right. Who's the ones who went in the transatlantic slave trade? Israel. Who's the ones that are being still beaten in captivity to this day? Israel. Who's the ones that are getting unfair treatment still this day? Israel. Okay. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord, because they called thee an outcast, saying, This is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. You're not getting out of this, Jake. You're not getting out of it. And I had this article, but I'm not going to get it, because it's kind of besides the point now. Okay? So let's go get Revelation 3:10. Revelation 3:10, what does it say? He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. You led into captivity, guess what? You're going into captivity. You killed with the sword, guess what? You're getting killed with the sword. All right, and that's you, Esau. That's you. That's you. Revelation 13:10 in the Good News Translation. Whoever is meant to be captured will surely be captured. Whoever is meant to be killed by the sword will surely be killed by the sword. This calls for endurance and faith on the part of the Most High's people. I don't really care for that too much. I feel like it kind of lost a lot. All right, it kind of lost a lot. But let's see what else we got. Let's go to the let's see the English Standard Version. What does it have to say? Okay, if anyone is to be taken captive, to captivity he goes. If anyone is to be slain with a sword, he must be slain. With a sword he must be slain. Here's the call for endurance and faith of the saints. They're not really getting it good. You got to go with that good old King James Version, the original translation, right? The most accurate translation. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. You led into captivity, you're going into captivity. You led into captivity, you're going into captivity. Who led into captivity? Esau led into captivity. Moab led into captivity. Ishmael led into captivity. Ham led into captivity. All these people led us into captivity. All right, and guess what? They're going to go into captivity. We're going to rule over them. We're going to beat them. We're going to dash them like a potter's vessel, as we're going to close out with, right? We're going to beat the living hell out of them. All right, I don't know if we're closing out with that, but hey, it's going to be very, 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 very bad for you, man. It's going to be bad for you. You led into captivity, you're going to go into captivity. You don't think about that, though, E. You don't think about you got to get paid back. You don't think about that. You don't think that you're eventually going to get paid back. You don't ever think, we shall never be in adversity. That's you. You don't ever think you're going to, let's go get it. We shall never be in adversity. Okay? Psalms 10 and 6. He has said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. Right? Going back up to verse 5, we got to read that. Psalms 10 and 5. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. Who's this dealing with? Let's go back up one, actually. We got to get, we got to go from, let's just go from verse 1. Psalms 10 and 1. Why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thyself in the times of trouble? The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. The wicked is Esau, Edom, the so-called white T-man. For the wicked boast of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Lord. The Lord is not in all his thoughts. He's not thinking about the Lord. He's not thinking about the Lord coming to pay him back. He's not thinking about that he's going to go into captivity. He's not thinking about, all these different things. The high up ones are, and they're trying to figure out a way to stop the Lord from coming back or to overrule him. But they don't understand. The Lord's not in their thoughts. They don't understand. They don't understand. If they did understand, first of all, they wouldn't have done all these things that they've did. All right, as the Bible says, they would have not, had they known, they would have not crucified the Lord. Okay, so they would have never, done these people. Not only everyone, really, even Jake, had they known, would not have done the things that they did. But a lot of these people don't know. All right, Esau damn sure doesn't know because they can't get the Bible, and Jake refuses to know because they're backsliding children. All right, they're just spiritually blind sometimes. All right, but these people do these things because they don't understand the gravity of it. It's not just Esau. Jacob does these things because they don't understand the gravity of it. They don't understand. These nations, everyone. These people don't understand. Our people don't understand. Esau damn sure don't understand. They can't understand. The difference is that our people can understand. They can wake up to this truth if the Lord allows them. But these people don't understand. They don't understand how bad it's going to be. If Jake really understood how bad it was going to be, they wouldn't be still smoking and committing adultery. If Esau knew how bad it was going to be, they would have never done the things that they've done to us. The transatlantic slave trade would have never happened if they really knew how bad it would be for them. They would have never done it. All right, all these people that don't know the Bible, they don't know how bad it's going to be. And that goes for you too, Jake, if you don't repent. You don't know how bad it's going to be, but you're going to find out if you don't repent. Okay? But most notably, we're talking about Esau here, right? So, verse 5, his ways are always grievous. Does he ever do anything good? No, his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for his enemies, he puffeth at them. Pff, they ain't going to do shit. Pff, what are they going to do? Pff, Psalms 10 and 6, he hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. What is adversity? Because they say they're never going to be in adversity. What is adversity?
Adversity.
All right, difficulties, misfortune. All right, bad luck. There's no such thing as luck. Trouble, difficulty, hardship, distress, disaster, suffering, affliction, sorrow, misery, right? Heartache, tribulation, woe, pain, trauma, torment, torture, mishap, stroke of bad, well, we're not going to use that one, accident, right? Catastrophe, crisis, calamity, tragedy. We're never going to go through those things. We're never going to go through those things. I shall not be moved. That's what they think. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places in the village, and secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privately set against the poor. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. So he sets traps. That's Esau. It's just who he is. It's just who he is. Revelation 13:10, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. That's what's going to happen to these people, man. All right? There's no way out of it. There's no way out of it. You cannot escape from the Lord. It's the Lord. You can't. What do you think? How are you going to? How? We'll wait. Explain how you're going to escape from the Lord. I'd like to know, please. What's your grand plan to escape from the Lord? You're going to shoot some bombs and some nukes and some guns at them? That's what you're going to do? Because it ain't going to work. We talked about this the other day. They're just going to bounce off. All right, they're just going to bounce off. If they even if the Lord, if he even wants them to bounce off, he can make it to where you go to fire and then the gun doesn't even do nothing. All right, the gun blows up and it takes you with it. All right, the bomb blows up and it takes you with it. You don't really, this is a Lord, man. Omnipotent. You know what that means? Let's go get it. Omnipotent. Omnipotent. Having unlimited power, able to do anything, all powerful, almighty, supreme. All right, supreme. He's the supreme being. What does supreme mean?
Supreme.
Of an authority or of an office or someone holding it, superior to all others, strongest, most important, most powerful. And you think you're gonna win against it. You guys are fucking dumb. Psalms 2:7-9. I will declare the decree. The Lord hath said unto me, Thou art my son. This day have I begotten thee. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. What's he going to give us? He's going to give us the heathen and the uttermost parts of the earth. Why? Because he's going to give it to us. All right, as part of we're going to have the be splitting the he's going to be sharing a part of his inheritance with us. All right, so we're going to have land. We're going to have, heathens as servants and handmaids, right? As we're going to get in a moment. In verse 9, what are we going to do to them? Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. That doesn't sound so fun for you guys. It doesn't sound so fun. Sounds pretty painful. Sounds terrible. All right? So, yeah, it's going to be really bad. All right? You're going to get, call all Yahweh Shem Shai that I'm not an Edomite or any other nation. Call all Yahweh Shem Shai that I'm an Israelite. All right? Call all Yahweh Shem Shai that we're Israelites. All right? I myself, you brothers and sisters out there, praise the Lord, man. Do it. I'm not telling you to do it now, but that's a thing that needs to be on your mind. Call all Yahweh Shem Shai. I'm an Israelite. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Shai. I'm an Israelite. He made us Israelites, man. We're Israelites. We're not Edomites. We're not Hamites. We're not Ishmaelites. What does that mean? That means we have a chance. We have a Lord. We have a Savior, man. We have an inheritance coming to us if we do right. If we're deemed worthy. If we're of the elect. In the 2/3 they have something coming to them too, but that's not something to strive for. We're not gonna even talk about that. That's low-hanging fruit. I'm gonna get it anyway. Well, you're gonna be destroyed. All right, with these Edomites that did all this shit to you, you're gonna have to die with them. What kind of shit is that, man? That's where you're low-hanging fruit. Get the fuck out of here, man. All right, if that's how you're thinking, get out of here. You can go and die with them. If that's how you're thinking, we're hoping to be part of the elect. We're the hopeful elect. We're hopeful to be a part of that number. We want to be there with Yahweh Shem Shai. We want to be on those chariots. We want to see your destruction come when it comes, man. Okay? And hey, it's going to be very, 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 very terrible, very bad, very severe. I can't even put it into terms, all right? You have to read the Bible and understand it, okay? And even then, you're not going to understand how terrible it's going to be. You Edomites, you don't have the full grasp of the Bible. You don't understand. No matter how much we go into this, how much explain, you're not going to understand the gravity of the situation. You don't understand how bad it's going to be until you have a so-called black man, all right, standing over you like Django, whipping the shit out of you. All right, you're not going to understand how bad. You're not going to understand. You'll be crying, snot running down. All right, snot running down right after the blood's running down. Your forehead bust open, a fat lip. all right, broken nose, all right, and then we're gonna heal you and do it all over again. Well, that's not fair. It wasn't fair that you sold us into captivity. It wasn't fair that you committed most sexual acts on our people. It wasn't fair that you separated the men from the women and took away their children during slave auctions. It wasn't fair that we don't get high-paying jobs like you. It wasn't fair that we can't own a house in this day because you've made it so unobtainable. It wasn't fair that we had all these terrible things done to us. It wasn't fair, Esau, but you didn't care about it then. Why do you care about it now when it's you? Oh, it's not fair. It's not fair. Yeah, well, guess what? Some things aren't fair, Esau. All right, you should know what you did to us wasn't fair, and the payback's coming, and the payback's a motherfucking bitch. All right. It's gonna be, oh boy, is it gonna be bad for you. A leopard cannot change a spot, but a change is still coming. Yahushua is gonna whoop your ass so bad. You know, when you did something wrong when you were a kid and your dad came home and whooped the shit out of you with that thick leather belt. Guess what? It's gonna be worse. All right, it's gonna be worse. All right, you're gonna have a whooping from the Most High, His Son. Oh boy, is it gonna be bad. Woo! You know, woo! It's gonna be bad. Oh, we don't want no portion of it at all. We don't even, hey, we call all you Halbash and Yahushua that we're not Edomites, okay? Because that's like a horror movie. And then he woke up, and he was an Edomite. Nah, I'm not an Edomite. No, that's a horror story, man. You have no mercy, no mercy. The Lord's not gonna show you an ounce of mercy if you're an Edomite. I wouldn't. Call all you Halbash and Yahushua that I'm not an Edomite. Again, I'll keep saying it. That's you don't want to be an Edomite. You don't even want to be a heathen, but being a heathen's better than being an Edomite. Anything is better than being an Edomite. An Edomite's the lowest of the low, the worst of the worst. You're not going to even exist after 1,000 years after captivity, man. You're going to go away. You won't even exist. Everyone else is going to exist, but you won't. You don't want to be an Edomite, man. You don't want to, and all you proud-ass devils, you proud-ass Edomites, what's there to be proud of? I'm proud that I'm going away. Goodbye. Have a good one, not really, have a terrible one. Never want to see you again. Goodbye. It was a terrible time. We hated you. Farewell. Get lost, right? That's how it's gonna be, okay? No one wants you around, Esau. You're the undesirable one that nobody wants around, okay? You're that weird kid at the party that everyone says, man, I wish that guy wouldn't have fucking showed up. Hate that guy. All right, you're him. Nobody wants you around, E. All you do is cause pain, suffering, misery, and hurt. We can't have you around. You gotta go. You gots to go. Isaiah 14:1-3. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans on that 12 tribes chart that we just read, and set them in their own land. We're gonna be in our own land. Well, that's anti-Shem because we're dwelling. Are we in our own land? Are we in our own land? No, we're not in our own land right now. So, do those people? Do they have captives? Are they having captives and people rule that they're having pick fruits for them and they do in a sense. But are there still wars going? Those aren't the people, man. Those are Edomites too. Those are Edomites, Amalekites. All right, which still are related to the Edomites, man. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. Who? Israel. Who? Israel. Anybody else? No, Israel. And will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them. Those strangers are heathens, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. What does it mean if you're cleaving to someone? If you're cleaving to something, I'm cleaving to it. Ugh! What are you cleaving? All right?
Cleave.
What does it mean to cleave to something? Cleave to something. What does it mean to cleave to something? Cleave.
Cleave.
Okay? It means to cleave to something, to stick or hold firmly onto something. Okay? To stick or hold firmly onto something. To stay very close to someone. You're going to be under us. You're going to cleave to us. All right? Verse 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them. You're going to be a possession. All right? A possession. What is a possession? Possession. What is a possession? The act of having or taking control, ownership. Ownership. Okay? We're going to own you. Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants. For what? For servants and handmaids. For servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives. Who? They shall take them captives whose captives they were. And they shall rule over their oppressors. They shall rule over their oppressors. We're going to rule over you. We were your captives, and guess what? Now you're going to be our captives. You were oppressing us. Guess what? Now we're going to be ruling over you. All right? We're going to be ruling over you. Verse 3, and it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Okay? So there you go. So, and we're going to continue on. Verse 4, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted, and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. That's what we're hoping for, rest. Well, hoping and waiting for. That's what the rest, man. Waking up without a headache. All right, waking up without a leg pain. All right, not going through, having a fucking headache or feeling sick or feeling ill or I didn't get no good sleep last night. We're not gonna have that. Not having to go to Esau's slavery system, all right, and work for fucking nothing. Nothing. A house is $200,000, but here's $8 an hour. How the fuck are you supposed to afford anything, man? That's not right. That's not right. All right, and that's just Esau. A leopard cannot change his spots, but a change is still coming, and it's coming to the hands of Yahweh Shem Shai. You're going to be physically and violently stripped out of your position and thrown to the bottom, and you're going to be given to us for captives. We're going to rule over you with iron fist. We're going to dash you like a potter's vessel. We're going to break you into pieces. We're going to say jump. You're going to say how high. That's how it's going to be. You can't change. But hey, that's why you have to go into captivity. You have to serve this hard bondage, worse than what we ever went through. All right, it's going to be terrible for you, but it's going to be done in righteousness. It's going to be done, that's not fair. That's wicked. It's not wicked, it's righteous. All right, wasn't wrong when you did it, was it? Wasn't wrong when you did it, was it? To you, guess what? So you're going to you have a debt to repay. And hey man, it's going to be a very terrible debt, and you're going to have to pay it back. All right, you can't change your ways. A change is coming at the hands of Yahweh Shem Shai, and there's nothing you can do to avoid it. If you take this lesson down, don't matter. There's nothing you can do to avoid it. Another brother makes a lesson on it, you take that down, nothing you can do to avoid it. You take us off the internet, all right, because the Lord allowed you, all right, for famine of the word, guess what? There's nothing you can do to change it. You try to hang all of our people, kill our people, take them to the guillotines and chop our heads off. There's nothing you can do about it. The change is still coming, and Yahweh Shem Shai is going to put you to a terrible death, a terrible destruction, punishment, captivity, and we're going to rule over you. And it's going to be terrible, terrible, terrible for you, but it's going to be great for us. With that, we're going to go ahead and close out. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying once again. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth to rule well. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Hey, praise the Lord. Call all Yahweh Shem Shai that you're not an Edomite. It's going to be terrible for these people. Until next one, Lord willing, Shalom.